Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking some pothos, some rooted pothos. I rooted it in water and we are going to be planting it in these little planters to grow them. And yeah, so that's the plan for today. We're just going to plant some pothos and I have them rooting here in my little makeshift greenhouse. This is my little pandemic greenhouse because I'm a photographer and well, my business is kind of dried up because of the pandemic. There's nobody in the studio, so I figured, hey, let's grow some plants in this space instead. All right, look at all those gorgeous roots. Look at all those roots. As a plant person, you get excited when you're trying to propagate plants and you see all those roots. They're beautiful. It's a good sign. And in fact, these roots are a little bit long, which is fine. You can definitely plant them, but they could have been planted maybe a couple weeks ago when the roots are only 2-3 inches long. These are definitely a lot longer than that, but that's okay. It's still gonna grow. All right, so this is my little box of goodies here. We have a bunch of different pothos plants. I have a green jade pothos here, and it's been growing like crazy. It's reached the floor a few times, so I had to cut it back, and I put all the cuttings in here. And they're all growing. Today we're gonna plant this golden pothos, and that's this one right here. Massive plant. These leaves are the size of my hand. I don't know if you can see right now. There we go, it's blocked the sun. These leaves are massive. And it's also grown to the floor a few times and it's about to get there again. And then we have some of these nice little philodendrons. These are the, I'll put the name down below. It's the cardioid, heart-shaped philodendrons. And these are just the standard green ones. And they're loving life in here. You see all sorts of new growth. And that's awesome. This one's probably ready to be planted as well. Look at that nice vine sticking out. That's so beautiful. Then we have some marble queens. And this one's definitely ready to go. Look at the size of that one. Yeah, you're ready to be replanted. But today we're going to be focusing on these ones here. These are the golden pothos, and you can see a leaf died there, but we're going to investigate that and see what's going on. But let's put those out here. And yeah, this is fun. This is some more philodendrons here, but these are nice big ones. The vine is nice and thick. The leaves are big, so I'm hoping that it makes a nice big plant to start instead of this small leaf plant. So we'll see. That's an experiment. Nice new green leaf. It's always nice to see these nice green leaves. And here's a nice, this is a neon pothos. Propagating that one. So yeah, this is a box of funness if you like plants. So yeah, it's great because if you put the lid on, the humidity stays in the box and you don't have to worry about them drying out, and it creates a nice warm environment, especially when it's in the sun, or you can use a heat mat. Yeah, you can see here there's a lot of condensation and humidity in there, which is great. Okay, so let's move this out of the way here. All right, get that lid off. Okay, so why do I have so many plants, you may ask? And the answer is I'm selling them. I left it over here. All right, so yeah, I'm a photographer and business has been kind of slow. So I'm resorting to other methods to make a little bit of side money. And I made a video about it before. It was the previous video. And I figured I'm gonna focus on these plants that I know how to grow, pothos in general and philodendrons, and I'm just going to start propagating them and selling them. And that's what I've been doing for the pandemic to make a little bit of extra pizza money. It doesn't make a ton of money, but it's you know, every little bit helps, especially right now during the pandemic. So I figured, hey, why not? I know how to grow the plants. I'm good at it. Let's do it. And that's what I've been doing for the last few months. And yeah, this is my method. I cut them, I root them in the little greenhouse, makeshift greenhouse, and then I transplant them into pots. And then once they grow to a nice size, then I'll sell them. And if you want to check some stuff out, you can go to my Instagram. Right now it's Vasco's Kitchen right there. It was a food Instagram. This channel was supposed to be all about food, but now it's sort of turned more into plants than food. And this VX2 TV food was part of a project I was working on. I had a partner. We're doing VX2 together, and he kind of left, so it's just me now. So I'm gonna rebrand this channel. I'm gonna change the thing around. I have to figure out if I'm gonna focus on food, because I love food, I love cooking, and I love plants. So maybe I'll rename it to something that kind of hits both genres. I don't know. That's just me talking out loud. But let's get back to it. Today we're going to plant these rooted pothoses into these pots, and that's the plan. And for those of you who are growing your own pothos at home, hopefully this helps you, because I know a lot of people who do this for the first time are kind of scared. They don't know what to do. They don't know if they're doing it right. They don't want to kill their plants, but it's super easy. These pothos, they love to live, right? It's really tough to kill them. So let's take a look at some of these roots here. This is the yellow leaf. And we can see here that this leaf is dead. I'll get rid of that. But the actual stalk here has pulled out some nice roots, and there is a new growth popping out. So that is going to survive. See if we can see that on the other camera there. Better. So we got all these plants. Let's check out these roots. Look at all these beautiful roots here. And usually what I do is I plant these plants when the roots are about the length of my pinky. So you can see here that they are definitely a lot longer than that. And I think that's great. I think that's good. It'll give the plant a good start. We already have a new shoot coming out. And yeah, that looks beautiful. So let's see what we got. Let's untangle all of these and then figure out how we want to plant them. That's a nice long root. And this is a golden pothos that we're planting here. Okay, so let's see. That leaf is done. I'm going to try and mix them together. I'm going to put these ones with the slightly smaller roots together. I like to put, in each one of these containers, I put 3 plants. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to break these into 3s. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we have 1 left over. We're going to find some more cuttings to put in with this one. Let's see. This one's actually got a lot of roots, so I'm going to put that with another one. All right, so we're going to put you aside. And we are going to plant this and this. So it's pretty easy to plant these. Usually when the roots are smaller, you can just sort of poke a hole with your finger and you can put the root in the hole and then put soil, and water it. But these roots are a little bigger, so we have to be a little more careful. We have our potting mix here. This is just standard Miracle-Gro. The pothos aren't too picky about the soil, as long as it's not dry. If you put them in cactus mix, you're going to be watering them all the time, and that can get tedious. They will grow in cactus mix, but they're going to dry out really fast. And the thing is, you don't want it drying out, because then the leaves start to turn brown and the plant isn't too pretty. So you want to keep the soil moist but not soaking wet. And they can dry out. If the soil dries out for a day or 2, they'll be fine. But technically, you want the soil to dry out too much. So let's start with this one here. We're going to get this little nubby plant. We're going to pop you in there. Try and keep it propped up a little bit. And now for this one. So what you want to do is this piece here, the node, you want to try and bury that in the soil. The plant has a tendency to sort of push itself up out of the soil and the node comes out, which is fine. The plant will still grow. I don't think it hurts the plant. I just personally don't like that look. And then here we go. This one's got a huge node. I guess I didn't cut this one too, usually I snip it nice and close to the node. This one obviously wasn't. It's got this piece extending. We'll work with it. We'll work with it. Okay, let's pop that in there. Now we're gonna put some soil in. And what I do when I plant these is I kind of bury the plants in the soil and then I pull them back out just a little bit. Okay. So now you can see they're in there and they're kind of buried. So we're going to compact the soil a little bit. You don't want to make it too tight because you want the roots to be able to spread and grow in there. Now we're just going to bring it out just a touch. And this little nubby one, just going to bring it out so the sprouts are popping out above the soil. Okay, I'm going to top it up with just a little bit more. And then we're gonna pop it on this plastic tray, and we're going to do the next one. All right, same process. You wanna make sure that this sprouty bit is coming out of the soil when you're done, but I buried a little bit more to start. So let's pop it in here. Pop it in there. And last one. So I'll try and get these smaller roots under the bigger roots. Okay. Now we're just going to put the soil on top of everything again. See, everything's buried in the soil. And now we're just going to pull it out. So we want the sprouts popping out above the soil so they grow. Okay. Top it up, and now let's give it some water. Now, when it comes to watering these plants, you water them differently when you first plant them, okay? So here's the thing, when you're rooting them in water, these plants become accustomed to growing in 100% water. And when you move them into soil, obviously it's not going to be 100% water anymore. It's not going to be as wet. So what you have to do is sort of wean them off the wetness. So for the first, I'd say, week or two, you want to give them a lot of water, keep the soil pretty moist, and then start watering them, 3 times a week, then 2 times a week, then 1 time a week. And then when the plants get big, like this one here, you're going to have to water them twice a week, or put them in some kind of soil that retains more water, or a bigger pot that retains more water, because they dry out pretty fast. You got to remember that these leaves transpire, so the plant pulls the nutrients from the soil by sucking water up, and the way it sucks water up is by evaporating water from the leaves. So as water evaporates from the leaves, it sucks up more water from the soil, and that's how they drink. And yeah, so the more leaves they have, the faster they transpire, so the more you have to water them. So when the plants get this big, you have to water them a lot more. And that's a lesson I had to learn, because I lost quite a few leaves on this plant, and they started to get brown spots because, hey, I made my mistakes. I had to learn my lesson, but I'll talk about that in another video. But for now, this is done. I put them in this little tray like this. As you can see, there's water in the tray, and I'll just sort of water the tray from time to time and let that water absorb up into the soil just to keep everything moist. And like I said, for the first week or two, these are pretty wet, and then they go into a normal watering routine. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. In the next video, we are going to be taking these plants, which have already grown quite a bit, and we're gonna pot them up into a 7-inch pot. And that's the plan for the next video, so stick around for that. If you like this kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be doing a lot more plant videos in 2021. All right, peace out. See you guys in the next one. All right, so now for some bonus footage, a little eye candy for those of us who love plants and looking at roots and things that grow. Here we go. The lighting's so nice right now. I have to make a little video of this. They look so good in the water too, right? That's beautiful. All right, let's pull them out. Oh yeah, look at that. That is some beautiful rootage. So this is gonna be a nice golden pothos one day. And like I said, if you're in the Toronto area like me and you wanna pick up some of these plants off of me, let me know. My Instagram is linked in the description. Just message me there. And I'm also selling these plants on Facebook Marketplace, so maybe you'll see me on there as well. I don't ship them yet. I'm gonna look into Etsy, but right now I'm selling them pretty good here in Toronto, but I will look into creating an Etsy shop or something so I can ship these to people. Look at that. That looks so cool. I like that view right there. Wow. All right, let's get out of here.